work historically. We were founded in 2004, and how COVID-19 has impacted the women that we serve and how we've sort of altered our program to meet their shifting needs. So you might be wondering, gosh, there are a million things that I should be caring about right now. Why Guatemala? Why this very specific focus? Well, for us at Namaste, we realized that there was a significant problem facing Guatemalan women, and that we were, poised really to help address this problem. So even prior to COVID-19, people in Guatemala had a lot of obstacles to face. So 60% of the population was living in poverty prior to COVID. 50% of children in Guatemala are malnourished. And they have one of the highest rates of malnutrition in the world. They also have a serious problem with gender-based violence. Guatemala has the third highest rate of femicide in the world. And we can see how these issues impact daily life for Guatemalan women. So for example, only 19% of the skilled labor force in Guatemala is comprised of women. So that means that the majority of female Guatemalans really have very limited opportunities for employment, and many of them end up pursuing careers as micro entrepreneurs, so doing whatever they can, whether it's making tortillas or making blankets and selling it in the street to support themselves. And for the women who do actually make it into the skilled labor force, there's a huge disparity between their earnings and what men are earning. And then, another significant issue in Guatemala is that indigenous people across the board are really at the bottom of the pyramid. And indigenous women have it particularly hard, not only in inequitable pay, but also they are usually targeted for violence, and they just lack the same opportunities and resources that non-Indigenous people face. So at Namaste, we really wanted to focus on women because we knew that we had a solution that could really empower them to earn more money, and really change this toxic sort of stereotype that they were facing. So the women that Namaste serves in our program are economically vulnerable. So the majority of them enter our program earning less than $5 a day. On average, they're about 42 years old. That's the average age of our clients. And the vast majority of them have only, many of them actually have no education, but the average education level is 4 years. Many of them are illiterate. Many of them are single mothers. And despite that, they have gone out and managed to start small businesses. Most of them have an average of 7 years of experience running their businesses, and they do things like, as I mentioned, selling tortillas or, selling it from a cart on the street. Many of them sell shoes and textiles, and then many of them also run little convenience stores, which we call tiendas in Guatemala, to support themselves and their families. And the way that Namaste is able to help them is through our Creating Prosperity program. So this program is incredibly effective. It combines one-on-one business advising, financial literacy training, and customized microloans. And the program runs in 9-month cycles. And at the start of each cycle, we bring the women in to meet with one of Namaste's business advisors. All of our business advisors have experience running successful businesses in the country. They are all Guatemalan, so they understand the obstacles that are facing poor women in becoming successful entrepreneurs. And they sit down with them, and the first thing that they do is work on a business plan together, because none of the women that we serve have actually made a business plan. And so just the process of identifying goals is a huge step forward for them. And this business plan serves as a roadmap throughout their entire participation in the program. And so each woman meets with her Namaste business advisor once a month for 9 months. And they meet to just discuss her challenges and opportunities and help her keep on track to accomplishing her goals. In addition, all of the women participate in 10 hours of financial literacy training. So as I mentioned before, levels, so helping them with the fundamentals of arithmetic and learning how to separate their personal finances from their business finances, how to calculate a profit, things like that make a monumental difference for them in becoming successful entrepreneurs. And then the final aspect of our program is that each woman is provided with a customized microloan that typically ranges from about $250 all the way, and it goes all the way up to $4,000 as they get more advanced in our program. And the loan is to be used exclusively for the growth of their businesses. So this program, the Creating Prosperity program, has become one of the most successful models of its kind. Namaste is very committed to monitoring our impact. So we check to see what the clients are making when they first start our program. And each month, our business advisor collects data on their progress. And we are able to see how our program has allowed them to increase their profits. And on average, after completing just one 9-month cycle with Namaste, these women are doubling their profits. And as they continue working with us, they are really carving themselves a solid and clear path out of poverty. So it's been an incredibly effective model. We are a small nonprofit and we are very laser focused, which allows us to really make sure that our solution is as effective as possible. So we had a really strong run of doing this. It was very straightforward. And then COVID-19 came to, you know, disrupt economies around the world. And the people of Guatemala were particularly impacted by this because so much of their economy is dependent on tourism. And the Guatemalan government was extremely proactive in curtailing the spread of the virus. When it all first came out in March, they immediately shut down their international borders. They shut down all public transit. They prohibited travel between states in Guatemala. And this just had a devastating impact on all of the women that we serve. And so Namaste, had some challenges. Our business advisors were not able for several months to go meet with these women in person, but we were very committed to making sure that we were able to be there for them in the most helpful ways. So we started calling every single week. Every single one of our clients got a phone call, and we worked to understand what the biggest challenges they were facing. And we collected a ton of data on the impact of the virus on them, their businesses, and their families. Each week, Namaste's management team would meet via Zoom. We still do this actually, to review all of our clients' data so we can see, how many of them have a spouse that lost a job, what their sales were each month. And this really allowed us to focus in on our COVID-19 pillars. And those were, we knew we wanted to continue providing consistent, caring support for our clients. Namaste is in such a unique position because we know the nuances of their family dynamics. We know the ins and outs of their business and, who's contributing in their household. So we were in a really powerful position to encourage them. So many in the virus first came to Guatemala because they felt like there was no path forward. And so oftentimes our advisors really were serving as emotional support as well as providing business advice to them. The second pillar of our program now is to really help our clients make their businesses more COVID proof. So, because most of our clients have pretty low overhead with their businesses, we were able to help many of them transition to things that are going to be more in demand throughout the pandemic. So, for example, many of our clients who used to make traditional Mayan textiles and sell them to tourists, they had no tourists to sell to. So we thought, okay, what can we help you do? We know that there is a huge demand for masks all of a sudden. So we started encouraging many of our clients who were in the textiles world to transition to mask making. That was very helpful. Many of them who sold things like cosmetics ended up transitioning to making prepared food because there was a much greater demand for food than there was for cosmetics. And so we've really helped our clients restructure over the last 9 months to make their businesses more COVID proof. We've also offered breaks on all of our loan repayments. We cut our interest rates in half, and we instituted a 3-month grace period for all loan repayments, which was very helpful. We also started an emergency cash grants program. So in our weekly conversations with our clients, we could understand what challenges they were facing. For example, many of our clients and their families have diabetes. And without earning any income, they could not afford the cost of medication. And so we have cash grants that we have been able to provide to our clients to help them cover costs of things like that. And these grants are also helpful for the women who might have been exposed to COVID, uh, as it covers costs of testing for them as well. And then the final piece, this is our basic income supplement program. And this is something that we sort of created with our partner club, the San Mateo Rotary Club out of California. We were sort of brainstorming about the most targeted ways to get support into our clients' hands who needed it most. And we decided that we would look and see which clients are earning less than 80% of the minimum wage in Guatemala. And as long as they were fully participating in our program and working with us on restructuring their businesses, Namaste supplements their income to make sure that they're earning at least 80% of the minimum wage. And that might sound small, but the minimum wage in Guatemala is about $12 a day. And if you remember at the beginning of my presentation, I mentioned that most of our clients start our program only earning $5 a day or less. So helping them get to that 80% benchmark has been really helpful through the last year. And we're really starting to see some encouraging progress. Um, this slide here just sort of provides an overview of how things have changed in Guatemala since March. When this first started happening, 100% of our clients were experiencing a drastic decrease in sales. And that was compounded by the fact that 95% of them were partnered with somebody who had also lost their job. So suddenly the women were in this role of being the primary breadwinners. All of them, for the first several months of the pandemic, told us repeatedly that they were very afraid for the future, that they were not going to be able to feed their families. Even as recently as July, only 15% of them were earning a profit at that point. And as we've just continued strengthening our COVID relief programs, we've started seeing a lot of positive changes. So now the majority of our clients are once again earning a profit. And each month since August, we have seen those profits increase from the month prior. So these women are once again finding their footing, and they are once again feeling optimistic about the future. Uh, all of our COVID relief programs have also really helped them in terms of realizing their power as people to support their families. And so we've been very encouraged that 97% of the women that are currently enrolled with us have indicated that they want to complete another cycle with Namaste because they see the value in really strengthening their businesses as a sustainable solution for the future. And so this is sort of just a very high level overview of what we have been working on there. And I am going to pause now and thank you so much for your attention and your interest in our work. And I just want to stop with this little graphic, which I think is so helpful in understanding how Namaste's ripple effect works. You know, we receive donations from individuals and foundations, and we invest in these women with our training and our Creating Prosperity program. And what's so cool is that across the board, we always see that our clients are reinvesting back into their families with their increased profits. So it's translating to better education, housing, nutrition, medical care for their families and their communities. So while it is a very specific focus, it is making a huge impact in the lives of so many. And we are just very appreciative of your interest and support. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you, Desiree. Anybody have any questions for her?
Carol, you're muted. You're muted.
I think she's working on.
There we go. Thanks, Desiree. How do you choose your clients?
So the requirements for our program is that they have to have been in business for at least 1 year. So we can't work with women who just have an idea for a business. So that's one requirement. They have to be 18 years old. They must be economically vulnerable. And the other piece that we started implementing about 5 years ago was we do credit checks on all of the women, and we make sure that they don't have more than 30% of their income compromised by other outstanding debts. So those are the primary requirements to work with us.
Another question for you, and that is, by the way, I'm a very close friend of Ruth Graham's. So I first heard about Namaste when I was having dinner in San Francisco with Bob and Ruth. And Bob started talking about Namaste and other Rotary clubs that supported Namaste. So thank you for what you're doing. Second question for you is, how do you determine what their loan repayment should be?
So our interest rate is 2% flat, and that is actually we've done this repeatedly year over year. We do a comparison to see how Namaste is in relation to other microfinance institutions, and we do have one of the lowest rates. So it's 2% for everybody, and then the amount of their loan is always commensurate with the goals that they've identified in their business plan with their business advisor. So, you know, occasionally a woman who is new to our program might have a piece of equipment or something that she desperately needs to grow her business. And so occasionally we will go higher than, you know, $300 or $400 to support that. But it's normally a gradual thing where cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3, it gets incrementally larger.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Oh, get some feedback. Are you good now? Yeah. Okay, so my question is this replicatable to other areas? Have you thought about that?
Yes, absolutely. Um, so one of the things that COVID-19 has sort of forced Namaste to do is start thinking about how we can make our program available in an online format. So we are currently exploring a Rotary Global Grant opportunity that will help us cover the cost of putting our financial education online. Um, and then also starting to do our business advising via WhatsApp or just phone call. And the only interaction we would do is with the microloans. And I think if we can figure out how to do that in Guatemala and see how the results are, we're very curious to know if the women will have as much success if there's not one-on-one interaction. But if we get positive results from that, then we definitely see potential for making this into a toolkit that other nonprofits, around the world could use, because we know that these pillars work so well in Guatemala. But I think a lot of what makes it work so well is the personal relationships that the business advisors have with the clients.
Sure, sure. Anybody else? Alfred? That's actually what she was just talking about. So his question was, do you have any activity with the Rotary Global Grants?
Yes. So we are currently about to start implementing our 8th Rotary Global Grant. So Namaste is partnered with the San Mateo Rotary Club and the Mazatenango Rotary Club to bring our Creating Prosperity program to women in a more rural area of Guatemala. And as I mentioned, we are in beginning discussions with a host club in Lake Atitlan to do this new global grant, but we are looking for a Rotary Club sponsor and other Rotary Clubs to support that once it starts, getting fleshed out a little bit more.
Sure. Anybody else? Yes,
Please. Those read said that women only have about approximately 4 years of education. What is the foundation in Guatemala for education in the villages and the towns and cities? And is your organization doing anything for literacy at a start with education?
Did you catch all that or no?
I think so. Was the first part of the question, what does the education look like in Guatemala?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then the literacy piece.
Okay. So to answer your question, it is much more common now for children to attend school. So, especially if you are in an area that is urban at all, it is the norm for children to attend school. And since COVID hit, they are doing schooling through the television in some areas. But that said, in the more rural areas where there are a lot of indigenous people, it is extremely under-resourced still. So there aren't a lot of schools or educators in those areas. I think Guatemala endured a really brutal 36-year-long civil war that ended in 1996. And pretty much everybody who was growing up during that period, it was a privilege to go to school, and it was rare. And since the war ended, it's become easier for people to send their children to school, but it is certainly in the more rural areas, it's still a big problem. And to answer the second piece of your question, if we're doing anything about literacy, we are not, just because it's just outside of our scope. But we are helping a lot with our business advisors and educators have very clear ways of helping these women record their finances without necessarily being able to read or write. And that goes such a long way. And sometimes we are able to connect them with other NGOs in the community that might help with literacy, but it's not something that Namaste does.
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions? All right, I think we are good, and we thank you, Desiree. And as you know, we are not able to be in the same room. We still want to recognize and appreciate you. So we do a certificate and make a donation in your name to the Rotary Polio Plus program. So I will send that along via email to you once we return to our computers. But thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a
Thank you.
great holiday season, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
My screen isn't running. I have a bad cord.
Oh, okay. All right, well, now that we're almost done. So as I've mentioned time and time again, every time we do a meeting, there's a challenge or something. Some better than others. But anyway, so I just kind of thought we didn't do happy dollars last time with the annual meeting and whatnot. So I thought we were gonna go around and see if we had any happy or sad dollars, and then we'll do the 50-50. So is anybody interested in sharing anything happy or sad?
I am.
Walt.
Yes, I'm happy that I was able to ring the bell for the Salvation Army, and I'm willing to commit to a $5 happy fine for that privilege. So
Thank you for that. Ooh. And thank you for ringing the bell. It is an important part. We always do that at the holidays. Anybody else? Brenda. Yay, she's happy to be back in the room.
And my second one is I'm here at the corporate. Anyway, stating that Brookdale is just priority.
Oh, awesome, awesome. For those of you that might not have heard that online, she's stating that Brookdale has been selected to be top priority for the vaccine ones.
Good. Good.
Oh, very good, very good,
Very
yay,
important.
That's where the.
right?
Deb? Deb?
Just- Just 1 second, Carol.
I can't hear.
Okay, fine.
Stand to hear about that. Had a close relationship with Matt when he established the precinct for supervisor elections. My man and listen, and a happy dollar to spend a great weekend with the Rotarian women friends and I'll give you a good drink.
We have plenty of it, that's for sure.
And games. And games, yes.
So I know you guys online are not going to be able to hear very well, so I'll kind of repeat, but Karen's happy dollars were for the memory of Matt and the holiday weekend that us girls shared together. Does anybody else online have any?
Carol,
I second Walt's $5. This year was incredible in terms of the generosity of people. We had $20 bills, $10 bills, checks coming into the bucket, and it was really nice. By the time I left at 1, our bucket was almost completely full, and it was hard to even get money in there. So, you know, that it was a great privilege.
Very good. Thank you again for doing that, Carol. Anybody else?
I have, well, happy holidays. Well, thank you, ladies, my wife.
And that costs more than $1.
Next time it's gonna cost them big money.
Yeah.
I want to nail up one for me too, buddy.
Hey.
Came home with a trunk full of stuff. So
She did.
Um, I want to thank Alfred and Tracy and Deb. We had a great time giving the air purifiers out. Really,
Yeah, and if anybody has a copy of that article that came out, because I did not see it, please get it to me so we can put it online and acknowledge that.
Picture of it.
Okay, perfect. Text it to me or email it to me or whatever. I'd like to get that out and share that.
it's been a rough year, but yeah, sad dollar. Years. Fine.
And
Oh. Yeah, that's on TV.
So if you like the Beatles, please say hello to them.
Get it. Think about it on station.
Did they?
I have a happy dollar again for our weekend. I'll share that. That was awesome. Also, I kind of wanted to mention that there was some conversation, just some loose conversation going on amongst a couple of us that we would thought that we would put together some sort of meal train for Esther, of some things that she could maybe put in her freezer, that might help her out. So if, you know, how that all falls together, we'll get that information out to everybody who cares to participate. I think that would be a nice thing to do for her. I really feel for her at this point in time and pray for her. So with that, we will go ahead and unless anybody else want to do happy dollar, sad dollar? Patrick. Yeah.
I'm looking to see if any
Where
happy
does it
dollars
belong?
left after this weekend.
You were happy this weekend, boy, I tell you.
Oh, look at this.
There she goes. All right.
Okay, I've got
Christina's
two happy dollars. We had a great time this weekend. It was fun. to Get together. And I also have a happy dollar because a lot of you in this room helped with leadership, Simsoft, getting that off the ground and had a great time. I look forward to another great year.
Awesome. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so we will do 50-50. Who did not buy a ticket?
I didn't know I had money. I still use.
We have $6. Oh, seven. I'm sorry, 7.
919501.
501.
All right.
All right, Blaze got it. All right, Blaze is donating it back. All right, so thank you for everybody for all of that. Does anybody have anything else that they would like to add today? All right, well, I think we are pretty well covered. Yes, we do take care of that. If you have anything that you would like to leave for the waitress, that would be great. If there was anything else, seems like I'm missing something. We still do have the cart buckets out. I don't know if any of you noticed on several of my emails that came out that the cart bucket also has gone electronic. So you can actually go to the cart bucket online and make a donation. And not only that, you can set it up as a reoccurring. So if you want to do it weekly, monthly, yearly, whatever you want to do. So that's always well appreciated. So I didn't know if many of you knew that that was an online scenario now. I think that is it. And we are also looking for speaker ideas. So the last half of the year, if there's any topic of a speaker or a speaker that you would like to hear, please let us know and we'll reach out to them. We do have some holes to fill in the last 6 months. Yeah, so please send that to me or to Tracy, and we'll see what we can do to get that stuff scheduled. All right, Chris, you want to lead us out at the 4-way test?
Say number 1.
That's all right. Is it true?
Second.
Is it fair to
Fair
all?
to all concerned.
Third.
Will it
Will
build?
build goodwill and better friendships.
Fourth.
Will it be
Will be
beneficial?
to all concerned.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, everybody. Have a great afternoon.
Hey, Jeff, I invited Jim.
Your meeting next week?
No. To the Christmas party?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna let me know this week. I know you need to know.
I have one.
Yeah, just, yeah, let me know and I'll add them on the list.
I mean, I didn't ask him to bring something. I deleted that part out of the appetizer.
At this point, I don't really need any.
That's what I thought. I'm like, don't invite somebody and tell them if you want to bring a gift, if you want to bring this.
Speaking of.
So is this, is it 9:15 or 8? Okay. I didn't write the check.
Yeah, no, it's, oh, I came, and I've got, I don't know if he gave you, I have Patrick's money and the 50/50 money. He didn't give her the money for lunch.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. When do you guys really choose? Oh.
Covered all the work throughout.
No, you do the whole.
Tracy, where are we with the for Saturday? Yeah, you're on. We have, me, Patrick, Deb, Karen, Alfred. You. Yeah, I didn't see my.
What's that?
So we don't know. If we're gonna have to- Yeah. So how do we know? If we were out there? Yeah, I'm gonna- So we might have. I didn't know.